Okay. In this parable, when Jesus says, but those enemies of mine,
where people do not want to accept the rules.
Are you going to listen? Are you going to explain this parable to us? But those enemies of mine who did not want me to be king over them, bring them here and kill them in front of me.
Yes.
What is the parable about?
That is a parable,
Yeah.
a story about an earthly king.
Yes. Go on, I'm listening.
Goes to a far country, is away quite a long time, and leaves his people with instructions.
Yeah.
And some people accept the instructions and they do a good job. Some people just don't want the rule, so they don't obey the instructions.
Okay,
They
so-
just don't even try. And in this story,
Yeah.
the king, who is not God in this particular case, but it is
It's
an
not king.
analogy.
Sorry, the king is not God.
It is an analogy.
Oh my God. Analogy to? See, now she's saying analogy to God. That is what a parable means, is an analogy. Of course it's an analogy. But to whom? Just says Jesus. The warrior king here is Jesus. Now wait. You see, this is what I call watering down the Bible, the New Testament. It says here, this is basically the commentary. It's called the guilt. Listen to the commentary of the Christian scholars.
Once you know the awfulness of being separated from God.
But hold on. The parable is about the warrior king, Jesus Christ. You should know that. Okay, Jesus, according to here, is the one who's going to kill his enemies. It says here in Gil's explanation to the entire Bible, he explains that.
It means that the word is like sheep, and the lost sheep doesn't mean that we are really a sheep. It means that we can be.
All right, it's on.
Sheep. There are analogies. It's not.
Let's see if you're right or the commentary is right. The commentary gives explanation to the entire Bible, says that this was to explain what happens to the Jews. When Christ shall come back a second time, Jesus will destroy the Jewish nation for rejecting him, and that all the other enemies will be slain and destroyed as well. Death and destruction will be the fate of whoever does not accept Jesus' reign as the warrior king. So this woman here is saying they will be let go. No, they will be killed. All right. This is the Christian scholar explaining what the words actually means. Not like this person who's trying to water down the New Testament verse, which talks about the killing of the enemies of Jesus in his second coming when he's going to destroy them all. He's not going to turn the other cheek, lady, that's for sure.
They will not be in paradise because they don't want the rule of paradise. They don't like paradise.
Who doesn't like paradise?
They don't like the rule of Jesus. What does Muhammad say that you will have in paradise? What does the Quran say that Muslims?
Can you put it down here, please? Yeah?
What is your idea of paradise? What is your idea?
You know, at the end of the day, the reason she's changing the topic now to paradise is because she has realized that the Bible is not about all peaceful talk. It's not about all turning the other cheek and loving your enemy. Because Jesus, in his second coming, is not going to be peaceful and loving like the way they want us to believe in these 3 years of Jesus' ministry on earth. It is not about the 3 years. It's about the totality of Jesus. Jesus in the Old Testament was massacring his enemies. Even children were put to death according to 1 Samuel and the book and Numbers. According to Numbers, everyone was killed except.
Why? And every single
tell you why? Okay, you tell me why the babies were killed.
I will tell.
Yeah, go on, tell us.
You why.
Tell me why the babies were killed.
Canaanites. The Bible tells us.
Yes, go on, tell us why.
That God tried to bring the Amalekites, the Canaanites, round to his way of working for 400
Can we see where he says that?
They were doing abominable things like burning their children as sacrifices to their God.
Oh my God. So kill them all. So if the Amalekites were killing the babies, God does one better. Not only selects children were killed, he says kill them all.
Better than God.
So you're saying your God was no better than the pagan gods they worshipped? Come on.
The prerogative of taking life.
Where does he say that? That was the reason. Tell us that.
Mean that things like burning, torturing children.
Where is that? Show me. Show me where that is.
After 400 years of trying different things.
Show us that. Where does it say that the Amalekites were burning the children and putting them to death?
Do you want me to find it?
Yes, please do.
You will shout me down when I find it.
Well, I'm letting you speak when you can't show it.
I-
When you go into this
When-
mode
when
where
I
you
show
where you
you-
try to interpret things which are not even in the Bible.
Will you
I'll give you the
listen?
chance, no
Will
problem.
you listen?
I will listen, yes. And I trust you will do the same. That when I'm talking, you will not shout.
Well, I think you were shouting down me, wasn't you?
Oh no, you were very sanely, not saying a word when I was speaking. Go on.
So here it says.
By the way, she's going to show us where the Amalekites were burning the children.
You see, he's starting to shout me down. Okay.
Stop being a baby now. Come on, carry on.
Okay. You must not do worship. You must not worship the Lord your God in their way. That is the Amalekites. Because in worshipping their gods, they do all sorts of detestable things the Lord hates. And the example he gives, they even burn their sons and daughters in fire as sacrifice to their gods.
Yeah.
And we know that this god was Malak.
Does it say that over there?
Yes.
Where does it say the Amalekites?
He's talking about the people that they of the lands that they had.
No, but you said the Amalekites.
Yes, and the Canaanites, people in the land.
Can we stick to one topic at a time?
So
You're going to show us the Amalekites burning their children.
Yes.
Go on.
Here it says, and
It doesn't say Amalekites,
God is saying to the children of Israel, if you do the same things as the Amalekites do, then you will get the same judgment as they do. Because God, our God, is a just God. And he says the sort of things that the Amalekites did, and it's specified they were burning their children as sacrifice to their gods. And this had been going on for 400 years. God is patient, but at the end of the day, he will bring things under control. He has the prerogative to take life and to bring the babies out of harm's way. He will judge, and if they are innocent, they will be taken into the hands of God.
All right.
This is the best way.
Okay, so that is the explanation?
Rather than selling into slavery.
Okay, wait a minute. No, wait. Are you saying? Are you going to hold on? Are you going to tell us that was the reason? Are you going to go away now? Are you going to go away? At least let me finish making the point.
It is not because they are infidels.
I'll tell you the reason why God actually killed them. It tells you in the Bible.
Why are you running?
Do you want to listen to your Bible or you want to run away? Do you want to run away? Okay. Basically, she said the reason that these Amalekites and their children were massacred in cold blood was because they themselves were burning their children to their gods. Now let's see what the Bible, in the very verse I was talking about, he actually gives a reason why they were burned and why they were killed. This is the first chapter of Samuel 15. First Samuel 15, verse 2. Let's read from verse 1 onwards, so they don't say I'm quoting it out of context. Samuel said to Saul, I am the one the Lord sent to anoint you king over his people Israel. So listen now to the message from the Lord. Verse 2 says, this is what the Lord Almighty says. I will punish the Amalekites for what they did to Israel when they waylaid them as they came from Egypt. So this is the reason. Not because they were burning them to the gods, the false gods, but because the Amalekites, God is saying, I will punish the Amalekites for what they did to Israel when they waylaid them as they came from Egypt. So basically during the Exodus, when the Israelites, they were coming from Egypt, the Amalekites attacked them. Like she said, this was 400 years ago. 400 years ago, they ambushed the Israelites when they were returning from the Exodus. And then God commands them, the Israelites, to go and attack the Amalekites and totally destroy all that belongs to them. Do not spare them. Put to death the men, women, children and infants, cattle and sheep, camels and donkeys. So this is an utter lie which the Christians want to spread, that the reason the children and the infants, see how they separate the two? Because infants are anyone less than 2 years old. The reason they were killed is because of vengeance and nothing else. It was for revenge a revenge attack against what they did, for what they did 400 years ago to the Israelites. Because at that time, the Jews, the Israelites were weak, so they couldn't take revenge. But now they're stronger than the Amalekites, so now they have to take vengeance based on the command of their God. So their own God commands them to kill these babies. It was nothing to do with the pagans, nothing to do with the pagans burning their children to the false gods, but for vengeance. And it's very clear. So one thing is that she lied why they were killed, and secondly, she does not even know the reason why they were killed, when it is clearly mentioned in the very chapter in 1 Samuel 15:3. And there are many other verses in the Bible. For example, in Numbers, it talks about kill every male, yes, and every female, except the ones who have not slept with anyone. That means God is commanding them to save only the virgins. And this is what it says in Numbers. And we have so many such verses about killing of babies. And I showed you Matthew 15, where Jesus is proclaiming the old command from Exodus of anyone who curses the mother or father shall be put to death. Again, Jesus, after 1400 years, is commanding the same thing which is in the Old Testament. So it's not only an Old Testament thing, it is something that Jesus advocates even in the New Testament. And we don't believe that is what Jesus proclaims about killing babies and children. Yes, this is not what Islam teaches. This is what the Bible teaches. The only book that I know which talks which is considered to be holy and from a major mainstream religion, which talks and advocates killing of babies and children, is the Bible. The Bible is the only holy book which condones the killing of babies and children, unlike any other holy book that I know of. So there you go. The reason was given, and the atrocities were given. The atrocities done by the pagans, if that were bad, then what the command was given by the Jewish God or the Christian God, as they believe in the same God, is basically worse than that. Because they were to kill everything that breathes, even the animals were not spared. I mean, okay, I can understand the people made mistakes, they made errors, they committed sins, and they basically committed sins against God's own chosen people. What did the animals do that they were massacred? Why were the cattle, the sheep and the donkeys, what was their fault? Why were they massacred? And this is the question for the Christians. Perhaps they can put some sense into this atrocities which are mentioned in the Bible. So animal rights, if you're a Christian, ask yourself this question. Why were the animals massacred? What was their fault? And those who love and adore children, including myself, yes, ask the question. We ask this question, why were the babies targeted by the biblical God? Why is the biblical God obsessed with killing children? A question which I ask. Unfortunately, this is an answer we don't get. The only answer we get is no more in the New Testament. But I showed you Matthew 15:3 and 4, where it talks about killing children as well. And anyone who curses their parents shall be put to death. So there you go. Anyway, thank you very much for your time, ladies and gentlemen.
Hashim,
Inshallah.